What's up, guys? Welcome to the line change. In this video, we're going to continue to talk about trade targets. But this one, for those of you that watched the Anthony Sorelli trade target video, I'm actually gonna be doing a series on potential trade targets, whether they're centers or wingers. So stay tuned for that, as I'm gonna do some videos on those. But in this particular video, we're gonna do things a little differently in this one in particular. I'm asking the question to you, Canucks fans, and just general listeners. Which would you rather do for this particular player? Would you rather offer sheet or trade for Marco Rossi, who is a young center for the Minnesota Wild? For those of you that are not in the loop, apparently he's not too pleased with the Minnesota Wild or like the organization. He's not impressed, so he's not happy, which could mean he could be a potential trade target for the Vancouver Canucks. He is going to be a RFA this upcoming free agency. So that's one way the Canucks could acquire him. Obviously, for those of you that watch Sekeres and Price, Marco Rossi's been brought up a lot on that show, in particular by Blake Price, because acquiring Marco Rossi via offer sheet has been a little bit of a pet project for him. And I'll admit, I'm starting to come around to it, not necessarily the offer sheet part of it, but basically acquiring Rossi and having him as your second line center. I'm all for that. But I have a article here that I'm going to go over that's posted on Daily Hive, written by Noah Strang. So we're going to read this article because it really dives into, the possibility of Rossi being traded and how he'd be a good fit for the Vancouver Canucks. But before I do that, I'm going to do my sponsor read and thank my sponsor, which is none other than Uppbeat Energy. So, as I just mentioned, thank you to my sponsor, Uppbeat Energy. Are you looking for an energy drink that is jitter-free, crash-free, no sugars, no artificial colors or dyes, and has no calories? Then Uppbeat Energy is just what the doctor ordered. Uppbeat Energy has over 15 unique and custom different flavors to choose from, including the Galaxy Grenade, which is a blend of watermelon, guava, and lime explosion. They also have the Beach and Peach, which is a blend of mango, white, peach. Are you looking to give Uppbeat Energy a try? You can get the starter sampler pack for just $24. And with that $24, you get a shaker and 3 different flavors to try. You can also, if you wanted to, use the code the line change and save 10% on your purchase. Right now, they actually have a buy 2 get 1 free sale going on for this entire month. For that, you can use the code B2G1. Once again, that's B2G1 when you have 3 tubs or more in your cart. Be sure to check out their website, www.dubby.gg. Once again, that is www.dubby.gg. Dubby Energy. Be better. Your taste buds' favorite energy drink. And speaking of Dubby, I'm gonna have a sip of some Dubby. And for those curious about the shaker, this is their shaker. You're not guaranteed to get this particular one. Basically, you don't know what color you're gonna get, and that's what makes this so great. That starter pack so great, as this is actually from a starter pack. And for those of you kind of wanting to know like what's the starter pack, well, this is what they entail right here. Unfortunately, they don't have this sale on anymore, but this is what you get. This is the mystery flavor. They actually just recently stopped making these, but as I mentioned in the sponsor read, they have a lot of unique flavors to choose from. But let's go ahead and dive right into this article. The Vancouver Canucks badly need another top 6 center, and players of that archetype are hard to come by. President of Hockey Ops Jim Rutherford has been open and candid about the organization's plan to trade for a quality center. The Canucks are willing to dangle their first-round pick and more in any trade. The problem the Canucks face is finding a young, proven center who another team is willing to part ways with. However, there's one 23-year-old who might just check all the right boxes. Marco Rossi and the Minnesota Wild seem to be going through a rocky stretch. Despite impressive scoring numbers, it appears as if the Wild don't view the Austrian, yes, he's Austrian, as a key piece of their future and would consider moving him this summer. Rossi scored 24 goals and 60 points in 82 regular season games this year, but when the playoffs rolled around, he was relegated to the 4th line and ranked 11th in average ice time among Wild forwards. Despite his reduced role, Rossi scored twice in the postseason. He met with coach John Hines to discuss his demotion, but was never elevated in the lineup. There's a clear disconnect between the Wild and Rossi, whether it's because of his play style or diminutive height. The Wild aren't giving him the typical opportunities most budding stars get. This is a quote from Marco Rossi himself. "I have no doubt I am for sure a top 6 guy," said Rossi at his year-end exit interview. Rossi is a restricted free agent this summer and is in line for a big contract. The Wild offered him a 5-year deal during the season that was rejected, per The Athletic's Michael Russo. Hockey consulting company AFP Analytics projects Rossi getting either $4.5 million for 2 years or $7.39 million for 7 years on his next contract. The Canucks can fit both of those deals into their salary cap picture. The Wild have the salary cap space to sign those deals too, but it seems like they don't value Rossi as highly as the open market does. While the Wild don't appear to be sold on Rossi, there's no reason the Canucks shouldn't be. He scored at least 20 goals in each the past 2 seasons and would have led the Canucks in points this year. The Wild outscored opponents 56-43 with Rossi on the ice at 5-on-5, the best ratio of any forward on the team except for Kirill Kaprizov and Joel Eriksson-Ek. Rossi was 14th among players his age or younger in points last season and 17th in goals. He can contribute on the power play and has shown a clear upward development trend across his career thus far. The elephant in the room is Rossi's size. He's listed at just 5'9", making him tied for the title of 5th shortest player in the entire league. That's not ideal, especially for a Canucks forward group that's already lacking some bite, but you're not going to find the perfect player on the trade market. More and more smaller players are thriving in the NHL. Just look at Connor Garland, and proving that height is not a good reason to overlook a productive player. It's not often that young, talented centers seem ready to break loose onto the trade market. While there will surely be numerous teams after the skilled forward, Rossi fits the Canucks' needs too well to not pursue a trade this summer. So there you go. There's that article. And I gotta say, I'm more and more on the Marco Rossi, either offer sheet or trade for Marco Rossi bandwagon. I think Blake Price is really onto something here with Marco Rossi. I think he would be a great addition to the Canucks. Yes, he's 5'9", but we already got a short guy on the team in Connor Garland, as I mentioned. And look at what he's done. And Garland's not even a center. So as I just mentioned, I'm all in on the Canucks going out and attempting to acquire Marco Rossi, but bringing it back to the start of this video and begging the question, do you offer sheet or do you trade for Rossi? I really think the Canucks can't go the offer sheet route due to them not having the assets. No, they're obviously missing their 3rd round pick. And keep in mind, these draft picks have to be not only their own, but they have to be 2026 draft picks. And of course, the Canucks do not have their 2026 3rd round pick, which they ended up trading to Calgary when they acquired basically their 2026 3rd round pick was traded to Calgary for Nikita Zadorov. So I believe the Flames still hold that pick. So if the Canucks really did want to offer sheet, they would have to go out and get that pick. That way they can move up in the threshold for the compensation. So I personally think the Canucks should try and trade for Marco Rossi, maybe dangle Tom Willander and that 1st round pick in front of Bill Guerin and the Minnesota Wild and see if they can get Marco Rossi. I don't think Willander and that 1st round pick is going to be enough. They might have to attach another draft pick or maybe another prospect, or maybe a sweetener or something. But to answer that question, I would pick trade for instead of offer sheet, just because I think there's a more believable and more likely path towards us acquiring Marco Rossi, going down that route. But I want to know from you guys, how do you guys think they should offer sheet him? Do you guys think they should trade for him? Which one is more likely to happen? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you want to stay up to date on all your Vancouver Canucks content, you can like the video. You can subscribe to the channel. You can also turn on your notifications. That way you don't miss any video that gets uploaded. You can also find us on social media. You can find us on Facebook. Just search The Line Change and you can find our Facebook page. You can find us on Instagram at The Line Change. You can find us on Twitter /X at Line Change Van. You can also find us on TikTok at the.line.change.po. Be sure to give us a follow on there as well. If you prefer a audio version of this podcast, you can find us on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Just search the Line Change Podcast, and we should come up. You can feel free to follow us on Spotify. Also, if you want to support the channel and the podcast, you can rate and review as well. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, go Canucks go, and go Abby. And I'll see you guys in the next video.